our YouTube chats all over the place. We're all over the place. Like, you'll see people arguing about Brandon Ayuk, and then you'll see a random Clay sucks. Just out of nowhere.
Wow. Jeez Louise.
You know, it's just like, wow, where did fire that take off? Out of nowhere. Just, you know what
sucks? Not Clay. Those All-Star jerseys. What were we doing? Okay, first of all, the font, the Tiffany, the saloon font that they use, the old school font, Red Sox use it, a lot of teams use it. That was cool. What were the colors? It was like a pink magenta. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. And magenta. It was like a tealish, bluish. Magenta. It was so bad. So bad.
I don't know. Well,
what were we doing?
Was the jerseys, were they worse than Logan Webb's?
Off-white.
Were they worse than Logan Webb's performance yesterday?
Well, I just think that Logan is, okay, for a couple things with Logan. Is he a bad pitcher? No. Is he a guy that's going to come into a game for one inning and blow dudes away? It's just not who he is as a pitcher. He's a guy that he's got to work it out. And he's like, okay, he's not Greg Maddux, but Greg Maddux isn't going to shine in an all-star setting. Like, all-star settings are made for Paul Skenes.
Right. So it's like in the NBA. It's like in the NBA where you watch Jokic and it's not really made for him.
Exactly. Yeah. It's more nuanced. Yeah. Right. And so just Logan Webb, I kind of saw that coming, you know, and whatever, not the end of the world. Ohtani, what a beast. Duran, monster. Clase. There was a conversation a couple years ago. Doval, Clase. Clase is way up here and Doval's way down here right now.
We saw Clase a couple weeks ago in Cleveland.
He's the real deal.
You know, he's the real deal.
He can command multiple pitches.
He's blowing 100. And you know what I didn't realize?
What's that?
Salvador Perez has been to 9 All-Star games in the American League. Kansas City Royals. Pretty crazy.
He was the catcher in 2014.
I know.
Doesn't that feel like a lifetime ago?
It does. And he's a World Series champion.
He had 48 one year?
46 or 48 one year. Just went crazy. But I was just blown away. I was like, damn, he's been to 9 All-Star games.
Who's star from the last couple days in baseball?
It's only 34, too. Like, I thought he was way older than that.
Wow. That is crazy.
So he could DH, you know, he'll probably play till he's like 39.
263 home runs. He's probably going to finish with over 300 Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Right? Is his offensive numbers, dare I say, I'm not
Don't say Johnny Bench. Don't say Johnny Bench.
No, I was going to say Buster Posey.
Will Smith?
Oh, they already are. Buster only had like 160 home runs.
Let me go tweet that and see what the reaction will be.
Well, offensively, they're
I know.
Totally different. Look, I didn't think the jerseys were that sweet. I didn't like them. Like, I personally would like to see them just go back to the way that they did in the past, where you wear your home team. If you're, let's say it's in a National League park, the National League all wear their home uniforms.
I wanted to see the Yankee pinstripes. I wanted to see the Red Sox white. That white pops. You know what I'm saying?
I'm convinced that Skenes walked Soto on purpose to get to Judge.
Well, he got crossed up on that 3-2 pitch.
Yes.
Who was catching for the National League, starting that catcher yesterday? Who was it? Contreras?
William Contreras.
Yes, Contreras. Because I remember Judge walked up and say, "What up, Willie?" But like, he threw that sinker or whatever. The first pitch to Soto, Soto, I've never seen him look worse in the batter's box. His half swing was like, oh boy, that's filthy.
Keep it real. As a baseball fan, we all wanted to see Skenes continue on.
Absolutely.
So I'm sorry. We wanted to see it.
He was the first rookie to start since Dwight Gooden.
I know.
Nomo did it in 95.
They threw up the graphic.
I think he was the youngest since
youngest. Okay, my bad.
Because Nomo did do it.
And
Nomo
did it.
We did this exercise last week. He said Fernando Valenzuela in
right. He
81.
did say youngest. He said, but that even blew me. It was like, damn, youngest since Dwight Gooden.
And he's got that screw you mentality.
Oh yeah, I like Skenes.
I mean, Skenes is
he's good for the game.
On a field of stars, showcasing how flamboyant they are. He's different. He just looks different. He's built different. He's a beast.
I'll give the A some love. Mason Miller
is a stud.
Somebody's going to grab him. And they're going to add him to a team with a close. Like, imagine if Cleveland was able to get Mason Miller. Baltimore. The Yankees. Anybody.
I know.
Anybody. Somebody's going to get Mason Miller. He could be their 8th guy, their 9th guy, their 7th inning guy. It doesn't matter. He went out there and he did his thing.
The story behind him.
Ohtani looked like a fool, Shasky.
He was throwing like mid-80s, which mid-80s in the high school level, like you're getting looked at the Division I. He was a Division III guy before he transferred. Didn't know that he had diabetes and then ends up, he was really frail. He couldn't keep on weight and he ends up getting diagnosed and obviously figures out some of the medical stuff, puts on weight. And the next thing you know, the guy's blowing a hundo.
Yeah.
We also transferred to a Division I school, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a great story.
It's an unbelievable story.
It's a great story. No, the last year.
Got the win yesterday, too.
He got the win. So the Oakland A's, that's what they're going to go to Sacramento.
That, by the way. Can we talk about that?
The wins and
just
losses?
The whole win. Like, it used to be you had to get through 5. Now, okay, I pitched, let's say in the 6th inning, and we happen to take the lead. I'm on the hook for the win. Like, the whole way we do the win thing now has to be
It's always been like that.
retconned.
It's always been like that.
Yeah, but with the openers and no one going 5, like it's.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we might need to redo it.
It is what it is.
Bonta, we're never going to get a 200-game winner, let alone a 300-game winner.
You don't get guys who pitch through the
I know.
Wins also just don't matter anymore.
No, they do. No, they do.
I'm telling you that a lot of people, the win just doesn't do it.
Yeah, those people are idiots. The same people that tell me that RBIs don't matter. The whole point of the game is winning and scoring runs.
What did you send in a thread the other day where we should get that sound? Who was it?
Analytics.
Who was that on?
That was Buck Showalter, who I don't love.
I'm a Buck guy. I like Buck.
But Buck was basically saying, and I'll paraphrase.
And Buck blew that Orioles Blue Jays game, not playing Zach Britton. Just said that. Come on, Buck.
You can say that.
Come on, Buck.
For Buck's entire career.
Yeah, I know. I love Buck.
His entire career.
The Diamondbacks win a World Series after he gets fired. The Yankees win a World Series after he gets fired.
Basically, he had said, I'm paraphrasing, like, okay, these analytic guys, they're obsessed with numbers. The old school scout, let's say the game gets rained out. Well, he goes onto the campus and talks to teachers and coaches and like, what's this guy like in his downtime? What's he doing? You can get so much more intel outside of just the raw data that gets pumped out from a radar gun. And it's just the whole game is backwards in terms of the analytics. No, I think it's coming around though. There's a reason that Bochy won the World Series. He is the most, now he still uses quote unquote analytics, but he's the most gut guy in the game.
Well, it's pretty funny that when Buck said that, and I watched that video, how could you not think about Farhan Zaidi? And it's like, does he look at I'd be interested at Farhan's end of season presser if he gets one, if he's not fired. I'm willing to go down there and just say, hey, Farhan, what do you do to scout a player? Do you try to find out who they are as a person? Do you figure out their family life, where their background is, their mental makeup? What's going on here? Because Buck made a great point. Too many analytics guys don't look at the character of the player. Then you take a player, you're like, oh boy, we made a mistake here. We made a mistake. So I don't know. The All-Star game was whatever. All-Star game was whatever.
Well, as a baseball guy, I thought it was disappointing, quite frankly. I'm trying to find this thing that I sent to the thread.
Oh, Lubbock could do it.
It's just really disappointing, and this is why it's disappointing, because the All-Star game stands alone at a time of sports where everything else is not going on. And so for them to not maximize the day and understand that, like, for example, Paul Skenes. So he goes 1 extra inning or 2 extra innings, and all of a sudden he's put himself at more risk of getting hurt. BS. I don't buy that. There is no, and all of the people who run teams will admit this in closed doors. There is no analytical data that tells you 100 pitches equates to more or less injuries. There's no data. There's nothing. There's no medical report telling you that if a guy pitches this or pitches that he is more susceptible to injuries.
There's just so much emphasis on getting everybody into the game, everybody into the All-Star game, and I don't know if the rules are different for the All-Star game where you could pull a pitcher after one batter or 2 batters. Can you do that? Can you just say, hey, we're going to have you pitch to 1 batter just to get you in the game, just to get some All-Star flavor?
I don't think everyone should be in the game.
But you know what? I get that aspect. You want to get everybody in the game for their fans or whatnot. But Paul Skenes, I thought watching the game, and I'm looking at the AL starting lineup, I'm thinking, I just want to see him go through the lineup one time.
But that's my point.
You know?
That was my point yesterday.
No. I don't mind. And it felt like we used to see at least pitchers go 2 innings.
Yes.
The starter get 2 innings, maybe 3. And now we scaled it down so much. I'm like, gosh, I would have liked to see him just go through the American League once.
We got 1 pitch between Judge and Skenes.
Yeah, he grounded out the 3rd.
And look, like that happens in baseball a lot. But it's like, but again, to my point, like Skenes couldn't go out 1 more inning.
Right. That was bothersome. And then Logan Webb. So Skenes throws 16 pitches. Logan Webb throws 31. And they just left him out there to dry. That was the Diamondbacks, though. Diamondbacks manager, he's like, yeah, let this Giants.
Well, that was another part is like Mark Kotze's on the bench with Bochy. And I'm like, look, Mark might be a great guy. What's he done to deserve to be on the bench for the All-Star game?
You know what? He's done a lot because he has to deal with a dumpster fire in Oakland. I think that's Bruce Bochy saying, you know what?
You're right.
Come on over here, bud.
Yeah, no, Mark deserved that. He deserved that, too. Well, he almost broke him last year, remember? The start of the A season in 2023, he was like, I don't know what to do. We're giving up runs. We're getting lit up. We got nobody coming to the game. I have no resources. I'm glad Boats threw him a bone. I'm happy. He deserves. If anybody deserves a bone in the All-Star game, it's Marcotte. Come on.
Would you grant me this, that I brought this up maybe a year or two ago, and you could disagree. I think there's more flair and individualism when it comes to the accessories and the shoes right now in baseball than in any other sport. Football's close. I think basketball's been passed up. Basketball started the trend. Individualized shoes and what you're wearing and the headbands and the arm sleeves and all that. I feel like
I don't know if baseball's passed it up.
You know what yesterday was?
I don't know if baseball.
I saw the Ellie De La Cruz shoes all over the internet.
I don't know.
I saw Duran's outfit and his shoes all over the internet. You didn't see that?
Because you got to think about how many eyeballs are on baseball, right? How many eyeballs are on baseball?
Well, that's a different question.
You know what I'm saying? How many people are watching guys from the Cleveland Guardians? How many guys are watching
the casual
Toronto
fan?
Blue Jays?
If you tuned in,
right.
I think you're seeing more crazy swag from the guys in their outfits than any other sport.
Yeah, maybe. Well, like the fits walking into the
trip and everything.
Oh, no, it does. Oh, on-field trip.
Yes, the on-field trip.
I thought you were talking about walking into the stadium.
Yeah, no, I mean on-field trip.
I don't know. They've come a long way. I'll say that. I'll grant baseball this. They've come a long way. But I think it's unfair to say, because the NFL will fine you for wearing the wrong accessories. Yes. They're really strict about that stuff. Martin Hankels was running that organization for a long time, that department where he's like, all right, you're wearing your socks too high. Fine. You're wearing your socks too low. Fine. But in basketball, the different color shoes, the different uniforms, the sleeves, we just see, you know what it is? You're fatigued from it because you've seen it for 15 years.
Okay.
They've been at the forefront of it, and now baseball finally has embraced the word cool.
Yeah.
They finally embraced it. So now we're like, oh my God, look at baseball. So remember 2015, I was on the field, and Marcus Stroman, when he was a Blue Jay, had the Jordan 4s on. And I was like, damn. Look at him. I'd never seen the Jordan cleats.
It was Soler wearing Curry's at one point. Lubman, was that what he? Because I know he had various Jordans, and he switched into. I thought they were Curry's.
Tatis had the Curry's on, right?
I know he did.
Tatis had Curry,
but I thought that Soler did as well. Maybe. It's just, I don't know. I find it interesting. I've seen everybody, like yesterday, Trey Turner, he was talking about, they all have these like custom leather belts. Now, that's the big thing. The Nakona custom leather belts, right? Where they've got all the different things on them. And yesterday, Trey Turner's mic'd up. I don't know if you saw this play. There's a little ground ball to him, and he's got to dive. And he goes, yeah, I don't really like the leather belts because I do a lot of diving. Right. So I wear the child elastic belts that you could go get at Dick's Sporting Goods right now.
I have one on right now.
Yeah, you know, and cool. I just thought it was cool. I thought that was, like, I like those mic'd up moments.
Screwball was mic'd up. And it was like, yeah, it's too loud.
Yeah.
And he was not paying attention to Joe Davis whatsoever. He was like, yeah, I'm not into this conversation. I'm trying to get through this inning and make sure I don't give up a run or give up some